When you go abroad or when you move to another country, one of the biggest challenges is to start to make friends. After 5 years in the Netherlands and overall 10 years living abroad, here I tell you how I have managed to make friends while living in another country. My first tip is to keep an open mind. I think that one of the biggest mistakes that people make when they go abroad is to expect that people will behave like they do in their home country, and this is a huge mistake. For example, this happens from the moment you meet someone and you greet them. There's people that will shake your hand, there's people that will give you a hug, there's people that will kiss you 1 time in the cheek or 2 times, and why not 3 times? This is something that, for example, the Dutch do. And this is just the beginning of the approach to a new person. Whenever you find that someone is having a behavior that you don't understand, it is so important to keep an open mind and say, wait, they are not going to behave like they do in your home country. As time goes by, when you see that this behavior is repeated with you, with others, you will understand that people have their way of behaving exactly as they were taught in the country they come from. So keep an open mind when approaching new people. A second tip that I have for you is that you dedicate time to your hobbies. If you know that you're someone who likes to go to the gym, strength exercises or yoga, or you like public speaking, or you like to learn languages, you name it, cook, do flowering or pottery or whatsoever, it's very important that you dedicate time to your hobbies. It will give you fulfillment, time for yourself, and on top, you will there meet people that are alike in interests like you have. My third advice is to don't be afraid to connect. When I was in Vietnam and I came to the Netherlands because I met these Dutch girls I mentioned in my video last week, I had a day with them. We had a really great time. Actually, there was even like a kayak activity and they were 3, so it was great that we ended up being 2 and 2. At the end, in a dinner, I told them, girls, I don't know if I will see you ever again, but would you mind if we stay connected on Facebook? Can I get your profiles? 2 or 3 years later that I applied for my master's degree, I thought of them and I saw I still had them. I put them all in a messenger in an inbox. I told them, hey girls, I don't know if you remember me, but we met in Vietnam. I'm just letting you know that I applied for a scholarship. I am planning to go to the Netherlands for my master's degree. So if I succeed, I will let you know. Hopefully we meet again. And then it actually did happen. I'm going to put here some photos of when we met again 3 years later in Maastricht, just after having met in Vietnam for 1 day. So then again, don't be afraid to connect. You never know what the future holds. There to keep in touch and connect with people. My fourth piece of advice is to dare to be vulnerable. Sometimes it will also happen that you will bump into people sporadically. Not in a class that you know that you're going to be there weekly, but maybe just in the supermarket or in the shop where you went to fix your shoes or in a random event that the school or work organized. And sometimes you just click with people in a first instance that at the same time, you know that you don't know when you would see them again. And this is what I mean to dare to be vulnerable. Sometimes you just have to meet people once and tell them, hey, I would really like to be your friend. Like this. And I know it sounds a bit scary and a bit crazy, but it works. One of the best examples that I have that works for that is one of my best friends here in the Netherlands. I remember I met this friend of mine in a viewing. She was renting her studio that she was going to pass over. I remember I went there and in a way there were visuals that made me realize that we could be friends. She had nice plants and some books that I had read and some things that, okay, maybe it's also important to point out here that you should be observant of people. And at some point, I remember it was a super cold day. She was like, hey, would you like a coffee before you leave? I was like, yeah, sure. I sat down, I had a coffee. By the end of the appointment, I told her, hey, I know that you're gonna have so many people come and see this place and that you're gonna go and choose whoever you think is the best candidate to keep the studio and who is best for the landlord. If I don't get to keep the studio, I hope I get to keep you as a friend. Like that. And today we even discussed this. We're really best friends here and I have traveled with her for my birthday. I'm going to her wedding next September in Spain, which I think is super cool. And you never know, guys. Sometimes you just have to dare to tell people that you want to connect, even if it's just the first time you see them. And it might just bring some of the best people in your lives and some of the best experiences in your lives as well. So go ahead and be vulnerable from time to time. It might be really worth it. My fifth advice to make friends abroad is to be a good listener. One of the most fundamental skills of connecting with people is to making them feel listened to. And this is very important because we already know that it's already challenging to put yourself there, to dare to connect, to open yourself towards sharing why are you there, why do you like this particular activity, how come you are here. Since you're talking there already, you might as well let them know somehow that you're really listening and that you have an interest in continue to listen. And this is another great way to connect and make friends. My sixth advice is to stay curious. We just discussed in point number 5 how important it is to be someone who is a good listener. This is great. But if you're already there in a conversation where you see that someone is really doing the effort to talk to you and share about themselves, it's important that you stay curious for 2 reasons. One, so that you help out in the flow of conversation and maybe even guide the conversation towards a place that you are further interested in. For example, if someone goes and tells you, hey, I am a marketing manager in whatsoever company, maybe you have certain questions you would like to ask about that, like, great, and how come you found this job? Or how long have you been there? Or where exactly do you work? Or what exactly do you do in your role? These are ways of proceeding to creating a communication flow that creates also a connection that most likely will end up bringing you more friends. The next and most important thing to do is to do the effort to keep in touch. After you were connected and perhaps you see someone post something in their Instagram story and you react and you tell them in the same message, hey, hope we can meet soon. There are times in which people will decline, and this is not to take in the wrong way. So if someone declines in the first or second occasion, it's okay. Sometimes you will make up friends that anyway you will end up meeting every 1 month or every 6 weeks. And that's fine. The point is to not stop doing the effort to keep in touch, and that way you will also consolidate good friendships. Alright guys, well, that was all for today. 7 ways to make friends while living abroad. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to please activate the bell to get notifications when I post a new video. I don't want to wrap up without asking you once again to please subscribe. It's very motivating for me to see a subscriber so that I understand that it's worth and motivating to do more of these videos. And that being said, thank you again. See you next time.